Well, what do you know? Been a little while. WildandWillyWordsmith.com, BarbaraAllen.wordpress.com. Um, it's the day after Memorial Day. What does that make us today? The 26th, I guess. God, what to talk about? It's insane. I can't believe all these people taking off and doing Memorial Day weekend. I can't believe all these people still arguing at the fact that this is a problem. We have 100,000 deaths. Even if you early people that said, oh, it's just the flu, 30 to 70,000 people going to die. That's what happens with the flu. Well, guess what? 30 to 70,000 people did die of the flu. I don't know what the number is. But now you can add 100,000 more who died from something else, not the flu. So, we've hit 100,000. We're not done. Only the large urban centers have passed their crisis point. And again, only if they continue social distancing and flattening the curve. Because again, once the curve spikes up again and the hospitals can't help people, you're gonna have a curve continue to spike even further. Because if you can't treat it, and it's gonna get spread, and you're gonna have panic and blah blah blah. Don't need to go through all that. We all know this. Anybody with half a brain, which apparently there's a whole lot more people with less than half a brain out there than any of us ever realized. But uh here's the deal, man. Mask wearing. I know I've been saying this, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it out loud. Mask wearing, though there is some efficacy in protecting you from the virus, is not about you, man. It's about your grandma. It's about your kids. It's about the teacher. It's about the person that is currently helping you or serving you that you would like to be able to continue serving you in that capacity. Their death is not going to make them serve you any faster, okay? You're not going to get through the Quickie Mart line any quicker in 3 weeks because you've killed 2 of the clerks. Counterintuitive to speed things up, folks. Okay? Wearing the mask is saying that I am concerned about you. I have compassion for you. And again, even if it's self-serving, I want you to be able to serve me my freaking slushy or get me my bag of Cheetos or put chili on my goddamn hot dog or whatever the case may be next week. So I probably shouldn't be going out of my way to kill you this week. Even if that's the selfish reason you have compassion, that's still a good enough fucking reason. It's still a reason to be compassionate. But no, you people that are refusing to wear, so wear the mask. Even if it's just to make the person who's serving you feel better. Feel like, because here's the deal. Not wearing the mask is making them feel worse, is affecting their psychology, is affecting their worth, and is affecting the way they view you and people like you. Because what you're doing when you wear the mask is, like I said, you're saying, I'm worried about you. I don't want to infect you. The last thing I want to do is kill you. And so, because I could just in case, I'm going to wear a mask so I don't accidentally spit on you and we'll be good. It's kind of like those stop signs we all stop for. But the people that won't wear a mask, that are going out of their way to not wear a mask, that are actually actively coughing on people that wear masks as a show of Trumpian MAGA outrage, they are saying out loud, fuck you. I don't care about you. I don't give a fuck if you live or die. Give me my Cheetos. Cut my fucking hair. Serve me. Serve me. I may only live in a trailer, but as long as I can afford to go out and sit down at Applebee's, I can lord it over somebody for a few minutes. I can make you go get me a new water just because my baby sneezed in it. I can be an ass. I can be the life of the party. I can know what it's like to have servants. That's why they don't want to wear a mask. Remember, white folk are the only people in this country that have never been told they were not allowed to eat inside. Okay? Colored folk eat outside. Black and white water fountains. Dogs and Mexicans not allowed. Any of this shit ring a bell? No Jews allowed. No Asians allowed. Mm, mm, mm. But any white guy that could put on a tie can get into any fucking restaurant he wants as long as he's got some coin. He doesn't have to be clean as long as he's got a tie. He doesn't have to speak the language proper. He doesn't have to have an education. He doesn't have to have the right to vote. Well, I mean, he does. He was born with that. But all he has to do was have white skin and a tie. And all of a sudden, that's not enough anymore. It doesn't matter. No restaurant wants your nasty ass inside, spewing disease all over the inside of their building. How does it feel to be treated that way? Because that's how you've treated minorities forever. Oh, we don't want black people in here because they got blah, 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 blah. I don't want them in my pool because they got Jerry Cooler, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So, how does it feel, white folk? You can't go to the restaurants. There, you're not allowed to eat inside. You got to eat outside with the minorities, with the people that, and you can stand out there saying, "But I got my tie." As long as you want, you can't go for fucking inside. And that's driven you guys batty. Because this is the last place you can actually lord it over and make somebody serve you. And guess what? Look at the restaurant industry. Who's serving these people? Asians, Hispanics, and blacks. So it allows white people who can't afford to can't afford a slave, to be able to treat a few of them like slaves for at least a couple hours a night. And they can do it if they're paying the bill in front of a whole group of family to really show off the power you have. Because you're the one paying the check now. You just treated a whole bunch of minorities truly unfairly and made them do everything possible to get things for your family in hopes of some pittance of a fucking tip. Remember, tipping started with slavery. You tipped slaves who were working at a particular function, and that allowed them to make a little extra money so they could eventually buy their freedom. Did you know that? Yeah, that's why it's called the service industry, because they couldn't call it the slave industry anymore. But that's who it is. Who do you think? Why is it that it's legal in so many states to pay people working in the service industry where they get tips less money? It's not because they get all this money in tips and it's not fair that they're not paying enough taxes or blah, 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 blah. They shouldn't. It's because they're lower class and they don't deserve the same amount of money as other people. Y'all thought there wasn't a caste system in this country. There still is. And that's the roots of your service industry and your tipped personnel and then later the pooling of tips and all that stuff, all meant to further control any sort of freedom somebody got. Okay? And that's who they want back to serve them. Because, yeah, there are a lot of white people in the service industry, but how many affluent white people worked in the service industry and were, slumming while they were in college or whatever the case may be? Did it for a few years, but they got out of that. I mean, I guess maybe we ought to look at the whole service industry and the restaurant industry. Yeah, that's a topic for another deal. But just remember that if they're not wearing masks, okay, it's because they don't give a fuck about you. They don't care if you die. As long as you serve them, as long as you get them their Cheetos, as long as you drive that Uber fast enough, as long as you drive that bus fast enough, as long as you ring them up quickly enough, give them all their discounts, and hey, if you actually want her to be nice to you, you should probably cheat your boss and throw in an extra little discount just so Karen will say thank you. And if you don't, she'll talk about you. Now how? I mean, that's what's going on. I mean, come on. You put on your fucking seatbelt to drive the 6 blocks to buy your pack of cigarettes. You put on your pants and your shoes to go into that same goddamn store because the clerk won't let you in there without shoes or pants. But we have crossed the fucking line when we get to a mask. We are being too fucking uppity to believe that it's not okay to breathe your air that your air might be dangerous? How dare us uppity minority service industry fucking personnel feel like your air isn't something we ought to be licking out of the air in gratitude? Those are the people that don't want to wear masks. The ones that want to be served, no matter how poor they are. And if they're poor, they'll just find somebody more unfortunate than they and make sure that they serve them. Well, I, for one, am done serving most of you peckerwoods.